You already know it. Something or someone is pulling you down. You feel it every time you try to move forward, like a weight tied to your ankles. And today, you will learn to cut it loose. This is not just about leaving people behind. It's about removing any thought, habit, or connection that poisons your strength. If you stay bound to what drains you, you will never rise. Before we begin, if you want more of this truth, if you want to sharpen your mind and forge an unshakable spirit, subscribe now and leave a like. This way, you'll have these words ready whenever your resolve begins to fade. Now, breathe in and prepare, because once you truly understand what you are about to hear, there will be no going back. One, picture yourself standing in the middle of an open field. The horizon is endless, the wind is still, and yet, behind you, there's a chain. You can't see the other end, but you can feel the pull. Every step you take forward becomes heavier. That chain is the sum of every toxic bond you refuse to break. It is the friend who disguises envy as advice, the habit that feels like comfort but rots your discipline, the belief that whispers you are not ready, not worthy, not enough. Ask yourself, how far can you walk carrying chains? Not far enough to see what you're truly capable of. The first truth is this: you will never reach your highest point while clinging to what keeps you low. And yet, most will never cut the chain because the weight is familiar, because they have learned to live with it, because letting go feels like losing. But it is not loss. It is liberation. To imagine your life as a fortress, high walls, heavy gates. Inside your energy, your focus, your will. Every day, there are forces trying to get in. They arrive in the form of endless arguments, pointless distractions, people who smile, but secretly drain your strength. You think you are strong enough to let them in and stay unaffected. You are wrong. No one is immune to constant erosion. Water will hollow out stone if it keeps flowing. Your energy is not infinite. Every drop you waste is a drop you will never get back. So here is the law: if it costs your peace, it is too expensive. 3. History remembers the leaders, warriors, and thinkers who knew when to withdraw. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher, did not entertain every voice. He wrote to himself in the silence of dawn, building walls around his mind before stepping into the chaos. They called it wisdom. It was more than that, it was survival. Because the world is loud, and the loudest voices are often the weakest ones. They need your reaction to feel alive. They feed on your attention like a parasite feeds on blood. So learn the art of silence. Respond less, engage less, let the noise die in your absence. For you may ask, what about loyalty? What about love? What about the bonds we are taught never to break? Understand this: loyalty to the wrong person is betrayal to yourself. Love that destroys you is not love, it is bondage. The purpose of connection is mutual growth. If one is feeding while the other is starving, the bond is not sacred, it is slavery. You were not born to be an endless source of energy for those who give nothing in return. 5. Detachment is not cruelty, it is clarity. Picture a river. The water flows freely, carrying away what no longer belongs. The river does not apologize. It does not cling to the leaves it carried last season. You must be like the river. You must let go without looking back. The ones who are meant to walk beside you will keep pace. The rest will fade into the distance where they belong. This is how you protect your power, not by building walls of anger, but by building walls of purpose. 6. There will be resistance. The moment you decide to cut ties, those who fed on your energy will fight to keep you. They will remind you of everything you shared. They will appeal to your guilt. They will try to convince you that you owe them your strength. You do not. You owe your life to the vision of the person you are becoming. You owe your loyalty to the mission that pulls you upward. You owe your energy to the things that multiply it, not to the hands that consume it. This is the second truth. You cannot save someone who refuses to swim. You can only choose not to drown with them. 7. Think of your life as a great climb. Every step higher demands more oxygen. The air becomes thinner. The climb becomes harder. If you carry others who refuse to move, your own legs will give out before you reach the summit. Some people are not meant to be with you at the top. They were only meant for a chapter, not the whole story. Clinging to them is like wearing winter clothes in summer. Heavy, suffocating, and unnecessary. Control is not about domination. It is about direction. A ship that does not cut away its anchors will never leave the harbor. You are the captain of your mind. Every tie you cut, every distraction you remove, is another knot you untie from the anchor chain. But here is the test. You will feel lighter and heavier at the same time. Lighter, because the weight is gone. Heavier, because now the responsibility is yours alone. Freedom is not the absence of burden, it is the presence of chosen burdens. 9. This is where most falter. They cut the tie, but leave the door open. They delete the contact, but check the messages. They say they've moved on, but keep the photograph. You cannot half burn a bridge if you leave even a plank intact. The past will cross it to reach you. Burn it completely, let the smoke rise, and never look back to see who survived, because the ones meant to be in your future will not need that bridge. 10. From this moment on, look at your life through the lens of power. Every decision you make either gives you more of it or takes it away. Every connection either strengthens your foundation or cracks it. There is no neutral ground. Everything is either fuel or poison. Your task is simple. Choose fuel. Discard poison. And when the voice of guilt tries to stop you, remember this: the greatest betrayal is to abandon your own potential. The weight you cut today will give you the wings to rise tomorrow, and the world will only see the height you've reached, never the chains you had to break to get there. You will notice something strange once you cut the first tie. The silence will feel unfamiliar. You will reach for the old noise, the old chaos, like a soldier returning from war who cannot sleep without the sound of battle. This is the withdrawal from toxicity. It's not just people you are detaching from, it's the addiction to drama, to being needed, to play in the role you were never meant to play. You must learn to sit with the stillness. Let the quiet feel heavy on your chest until you can breathe in it, because silence is where your strength is forged. Point 1. Imagine a blade being sharpened. Each stroke against the stone removes what is dull and useless. It is a slow, grinding process, but when it is over, the blade is precise, lethal. You are the blade. The friction you feel when cutting ties is the sharpening of your life. Every connection you sever that once drained you is a stroke against the stone. But understand, if you stop halfway, you will remain dull, half free, half powerful. The world respects precision, not hesitation. To detachment requires a kind of courage most people will never know. It is easier to keep the familiar pain than to face the unknown. It is easier to say maybe it will change than to walk away forever. But the fortress of your mind cannot be half guarded. A single open gate is all it takes for the enemy to walk in. And the enemy is not always obvious. Sometimes they come smiling. Sometimes they come as concern. You must train your sight to see beyond the words, to feel the intention behind the tone, to know when kindness is a mask and when it is real. 3. Think of the great generals of history. They did not win wars by pleasing everyone. They chose alliances carefully. They sacrificed short-term comfort for long-term victory. Your life is no different. If you want to stand unshakable, you must choose your circle with precision. Every person in it should multiply your focus, not fracture it. You don't need more friends. You need the right ones. For there will be days when you will doubt your decision, when memories will pull at you like the tide pulls at a drowning man. They will tempt you to swim back to the very waters you escaped from. Remember this: the ocean of your past has no new islands, only the same storms, the same sharks, the same wreckage. Do not return to a place that nearly killed you just because you missed the viewpoint. 5. Cutting ties is not just about people, it is about habits, beliefs, and versions of yourself. The version of you that tolerated weakness, that saw comfort in the wrong arms, that played small to make others feel big, that version must die. Picture a snake shedding its skin. It does not mourn what is left behind. It knows the old skin would kill it if it refused to let go. This is transformation, and transformation is never gentle. 6. Control your environment, or your environment will control you. Your space must reflect the person you are becoming, not the person you were. Remove reminders of what you've left. The photo, the trinket, the gift that keeps you tied. Every object carries energy. If it belongs to your past, it has no place in your future. You are building the temple. Do not decorate it with relics from a broken world. 7. Discipline is the anchor of detachment. Without it, you will drift back into old waters. Discipline is not punishment, it is preservation. It keeps you aligned with your purpose when emotions try to pull you off course. When your mind says reach out, discipline says stay silent. When your heart says remember, discipline says focus forward. This is not coldness. This is survival. A power grows in the absence of chaos. Once you remove the sources of emotional drain, you will notice your thoughts becoming sharper. You will wake with more energy. Decisions will feel lighter. But here is the danger. Power attracts attention. The moment others sense your strength, They will come, some to align with you, others to siphon from you again. You must guard the gates even more fiercely when you rise, for the higher you climb, the more valuable your energy becomes. 9 Some ties are invisible. They are not people or objects, they are narratives. Stories you have told yourself so many times that you believe them without question. I can't do it alone. I owe them everything. If I leave, I'll regret it. These are chains made of thought, and they are the hardest to break. You break them by replacing them, by telling a new story, one in which you are not bound by obligation, but guided by purpose. The mind will resist at first, but repetition is the chisel that frees you. 10 Now, look around you. Every voice, every habit, every belief. Ask yourself, does this give me strength or take it away? If it gives you strength, keep it close. If it drains you, release it without hesitation. The world will try to guilt you into staying tied to what weakens you, but the truth is simple. You cannot light the way for anyone if your own flame is dying. So cut the rope, let the dead weight fall into the abyss, and walk forward, lighter, sharper, unstoppable, because the path ahead is not for the ones who cling, it is for the ones who let go and rise. There comes a moment after the break when the noise fades completely. At first, it feels like standing at the edge of a vast, empty canyon. No echoes, no voices, only the sound of your own breathing. This is the space most people run from. They rush to fill it with new distractions, new noise, new chains. They cannot bear the weight of the void, but you will stand in it, because the void is not emptiness, it is potential. 1 Imagine a battlefield after the war is over. The smoke has cleared, the ground is quiet, the air is still. This is your life once you remove the forces that drained you. And here is the truth most never see. The real fight begins after the war. It is the battle to rebuild, to choose what enters your life next with the precision of a king granting access to his throne. Rome, every choice you make in this stage will shape the kingdom you rule tomorrow. To emotional immunity is the next frontier. You can cut a tie physically, but if you still react to the memory, the chain remains in your mind. True detachment is when the thought no longer stirs you, when their name is just a word, when the sight of their face is nothing but shapes and colors. You cannot control the arrival of memories, but you can control your response, and the less you respond, the weaker their hold becomes. 3 Power is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not need to prove anything. A lion does not roar to every passing animal. It moves with certainty, knowing what it is. When you have removed what drains you, you will discover a stillness in your core. This stillness is unshakable. It cannot be bought, convinced, or manipulated, and in this stillness, you become untouchable. For history tells of warriors who entered battle already victorious. They had mastered themselves before they ever faced the enemy. They were immune to fear, immune to flattery, immune to provocation. This is your goal, to walk through the world so centered that no external force can tip your balance. To achieve this, you must train your mind daily. Discipline is not an act, it is a state of being. When you wake, guard your first thought. When you speak, measure your words. When you act from intention, not impulse. 5 Now picture a scale. On one side everything you keep, on the other everything you cut. The things you keep must outweigh the weight of what you remove, not in volume, but in value. Quality replaces quantity. 1 conversation that fuels you is worth more than 100 that drain you. 1 hour of deep focus is worth more than 10 hours of scattered effort. You are no longer a collector of connections. You are a curator. 6 The temptation to return will strike hardest when you are lonely. Loneliness is the echo of the old chains calling you back. It will whisper, go back. It wasn't that bad. At least you weren't alone. Understand this. Being alone is a stage, not a sentence. It is the soil where your roots deepen before the next season of growth. And in this soil, you will learn the difference between attachment and alignment. 7 Attachment clings. Alignment walks beside you freely. Attachment demands you stay the same. Alignment celebrates your evolution. Most of what drains you is attachment disguised as loyalty. Cutting these ties makes room for alignment to enter, but alignment will not arrive if your hands are still full of the past. You must empty them first. 8 Control over your emotions is the highest form of strength, not because emotions are bad, but because they are powerful, and power must be directed. Think of fire. In the wild, it destroys. In a forge, it creates. When you react without control, you burn everything around you. When you respond with mastery, You forge the future you want. Non-attachment is not the absence of care, it is the refusal to waste care on what is unworthy. It is looking at chaos and choosing peace. It is hearing provocation and choosing silence. It is being offered poison and choosing not to drink. You cannot control every storm, but you can control the ship you sail through it, and your ship will go faster when the unnecessary weight is thrown overboard. 10. Now, you must understand the final truth of this stage. Power attracts not only allies, but predators. The moment you rise, you will draw both admiration and envy. The same people who once drained you may return, wearing new masks, speaking new words, but carrying the same hunger. You must recognize them instantly, not by what they say, but by how you feel when they are near. If your chest tightens, if your energy feels pulled, if your focus fractures, they are not for you. Turn away every time, because the kingdom you are building will not fall to a grand army. It will fall to the small leaks you refuse to seal. Cut the tie every time. One day, you will wake and realize you feel no pull backward, no weight on your chest, no invisible hands on your shoulders. That day will not arrive by chance. It will arrive because you chose it again and again, in the face of doubt, guilt, and fear. The person you are becoming is forged in the absence of the unnecessary. Every cut you made was not just a loss, it was an investment. You invested in clarity, in time, in peace, and peace is not passive. Peace is the sharpest weapon you can wield in a chaotic world. It allows you to see every move clearly. It allows you to act without haste. It allows you to choose the battles that matter and win them, to picture yourself walking through a hall of mirrors. Each reflection is a different version of you, one bound by fear, one weighed down by the wrong people, one distracted by noise. You pass them all without stopping, because none of them can follow you where you are going. At the end of the hall is a single door. Behind it, your life, unbound. Only you can open it. And the key is the courage to leave everything else behind. 3. In this new life, your relationships are chosen, not tolerated. Your time is guarded, not given away freely. Your energy is directed, not scattered. You understand now that the most dangerous thieves are not the ones who take money, but the ones who take focus, who take confidence, who take the will to fight for your future. And you will never let them near you again, for the world will notice the change. Some will respect it, some will resent it, and some will try to test it. But the difference now is that you do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to prove your decision. You are no longer seeking permission to protect your power. This is the essence of self-mastery, acting in alignment with your highest purpose, regardless of who understands it. 5. From this point forward, your life operates on a simple law. If it drains you, it is not for you. No exceptions, no compromises. Every time you honor this law, you grow stronger, and every time you break it, you pay the price immediately. You will feel it in your chest. You will feel it in your sleep, and you will know you must return to the path without hesitation. 6. Now imagine the summit. The air is thin, the wind is cold, and yet you feel nothing but strength, because there is nothing left to pull you down. No one left to distract you, no weight left to carry. This is the reward of cutting ties, the ability to rise without limit, the ability to see further than you ever thought possible, the ability to move in silence and strike with precision. 7. Understand this final truth. You are not here to live in reaction to what others do. You are here to shape your world with deliberate, relentless intent, and intent requires space. Space requires removal. Removal requires courage. You have that courage now. 8. The future you are building will be invisible to most at first, because you are building it in the dark, in the quiet, out of reach from the chaos. And when it is ready, when it stands unshakable, those who once drained you will see what they lost. They will see what you became without them, and they will understand, too late, that they were never meant to stand beside you here. 9. You walk forward now with the calm of someone who owes nothing to the past. The chains are gone. The weight is gone. The false voices are silent. All that remains is the sound of your own steps, and with each one, the distance between you and the life you left grows wider. Let it. 10. So I will tell you one last time. Cut the ties. Cut them clean. Cut them without apology, because your destiny will not wait for you to carry dead weight to the top. The mountain will not lower itself for your comfort. The world will not stop spinning so you can cling to what is killing you. Cut the ties. Rise. Roll your life. And never look back.